stand by for action.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Milner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and I want to welcome you to part one of this episode of the Unpleasant Blind Guy on EDL Radio. Now remember, if you want to contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions, I'm available at UBG Contact on Twitter, or I can also be found as Dave Milner or Agador, that's Aggedor, on Mumblet, the Tea Party Community, Spreely, Minds, MeWe, or Gab. Now let's begin.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. I hope, indeed I pray, that we shall not be found unworthy of our victory if after toil and tribulation it is granted to us. For the rest, we have to gain the victory. That is our task. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its commonwealths last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
We shall not fail or falter. We shall not weaken or tire. Neither the sudden shock of battle nor the long-drawn trials of vigilance and exertion will wear us down. Give us the tools, and we will finish the job.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
I'm an Englishman. I'm from Bermondsey, southeast London. My father was called George. He was also from Bermondsey. His father, another Bermondsey man, was called George too. And his father, my great-grandfather, is from the same place. He was called Edward. These 3 generations of my family were in the fish trade. I'm the first member of my family not to work at the market in Billingsgate. My great-grandfather had 11 brothers and sisters. They all married, except one. They had 43 children. Of these, 37 married. And between them, they had a further 159 children. One of those was my father. I don't know exactly how many of his generation married or exactly how many children they produced. I've so far tracked over 200 of them. Many still live in Bermondsey. Some are still in the fish trade. There are 7 called George and 5 called Victoria. I stand here in front of you as a representative of all of them. And I ask in their name the great question put by our patron, Mr. Powell. What do they know of England who only England know? Or, what can my family who come from England, who lived in England, who know only England, say of this, our country? Mr. Powell once spoke of the destruction of ancient Athens and the miraculous survival in the blackened ruins of that city of the sacred olive tree, the symbol of Greece, their country. And he also spoke of us, the English, at the heart of a vanished empire, seeming to find within ourselves, like one of our own oak trees, the sap rising from our ancient roots. And he said, perhaps after all, we who have inhabited this island fortress for an unbroken 1,000 years, brought up, as he said, within the sound of English birdsong, under the English oak, in the English meadow, beneath the red cross of St. George, it is us who know most of England. And I appreciated him for saying that, because it was as if he spoke for my family, who understand well their own country, who understand even better their own capital, London town, as we used to call her. As we strolled in her parks, as we marvelled at her palaces, as we did business in the city, went west for a dance, took a boat on the river. The pale ale and eel pie of old London. The London of my family, for as many generations as I know. The London that within 15 years will be less than 50% white. London where in 15 years a white person will be in the minority. Am I racist? No. Do I have anything against people of other races? No. Would I prevent them from coming into my home? No. So what then is my gripe? My gripe. And I speak on behalf of 7 men called George and 5 women called Victoria. My gripe is quite simple. My gripe is that we were never asked. My gripe is that we were told, not asked. And every day we are told again and again how we are to be and how our country is to be. We're told by them, and we know who they are. They're English too. They're the class that has always set themselves apart. They're the class that has always taken whatever they wanted for themselves. And now they are the class that is giving England away. They have never asked us. And they never will. Do we allow them to sell our heritage? Or is it time for us to speak? To speak. To refuse them the right. To give away our holy, our bountiful, our only England that has nurtured us naked, grown us as the oak. Is it time for us that England know to come yet again and defend our country with our fire, our fists? Is it time for our sons to rise again? I say yes. I say yes. I say yes.
There you go. I say yes as well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the English Defence League radio show broadcasting live from blogtalkradio.com. The English Defence League radio show, the truth and the voice of the EDL. The show title for tonight is the English Defence League radio show, Countdown to Brexit. Welcome to the English Defence League radio show with your host, Jeff Spider Mitchell. My wingman for this evening is Dave Agador Milner. Tonight we'll be discussing headlines of the week, highlighting the build-up to UK's leaving the EU, and once again, after so many decades to be free from the shackles of the EU. The loony left and its Islamic death cult allies are fighting this battle to the bitter end. But Brexit will be sweet for our children and our grandchildren. On to sovereignty, on to victory, and no surrender ever. Thank you for that statement tonight, Script Dave. All that is necessary for evil to prevail is that good men do nothing. And that, of course, was by the late, great Edmund Burke. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. President John F. Kennedy. And without further ado, let me bring my dear friend, my colleague, and my wingman, Dave Agador Milner. Dave, CQDX, UK calling. Is that you there, Mr. Milner?
Good evening, Jeff. Yeah, well, that almost merits playing London Calling, but we'll wait on that. Good evening to you, and good evening to everybody in the UK. Hello, and good afternoon to everybody in the United States. Hello to everybody around the world. And, of course, off Earth, we can never forget that. Yeah, Jeff, we've got quite a show. We're getting close to the time now, the 31st, the magical 31st date. As said in the script, the lefties, and you've seen this in the news, and so have I, are fighting this tooth and nail all the way down to the end.
And they're running around with a hair light. Let's call them out what they are. They're running around with a hair light. Good day, sorry, mate.
Well, no
Chaos
problem,
reigns with
man.
them.
Oh, it
Chaos
does.
reigns with those who do not want to believe in sovereignty. Do they just want to give in to slavery? It sounds like it, doesn't it? Slavery by the faceless ones. Is that what they want to be ruled by? How pathetic, eh? How sad that society have brought up these people to believe that they'd rather be slaves and shackled to this faceless, money-spinning, what would we call it? A racket. Because that's all it has been, or it will be. And, because people like ourselves, Dave, could see common sense. The only way forward was to pull away from this and regain control of our borders and fishing rights, the things that's important, that makes this country thrive. There you go. Just something else I want to say, Dave, before we move it on. You know that gentleman, I'm an Englishman. Do you know, if I was to say what that young man said today, if I was to say on a demonstration, I was to stand there and I was to speak that, I would say that that's quite possible now in where we stand today with political correctness and hate speech, is called on. I'd probably be arrested for that. That's what, as I was listening, I think, I could be arrested if I actually said that's what that young man was saying. Probably be arrested. We remember what happened to Paul, the
Jeff.
guy from Liberty GB.
Weston, Jeff.
Stood on the steps,
Paul Weston.
Where was it? Down in Kent somewhere. And he was speaking what Winston Churchill said, and someone complained about it. He got carted away in a police van. So that's what I'm saying. The case was dropped. I mean, really, truthfully, I think common sense had to be seen there, because they would have been defiling the late great Sir Winston Churchill, because it was just his speech. So there you go. So I just wanted to make that point, Dave, as where we are and how sad it is where, you speak, speak free speech. I'm envious of you, Dave. I'm envious of yourself and the good people in the United States, because you got your First Amendment. That is it. Just wish we had our amendment was written like your great guys had put it together. Yeah, anyway, Dave, I'm thinking, lads, as I normally do.
Right. Well, and our First Amendment, of course, is in danger if the left, especially if the lefties, take the White House and retain the House and take the Senate. They'll create a situation over here like there is over there. That's part of the reason I'm here. But Jeff, you were talking about border control, and I think that was a big reason that most people voted to leave during the referendum. And sometimes people need a little bit of a reminder as to why and as to what happens when you don't control your own borders. And I've got a story here from the 19th, all right, from yesterday, from Breitbart, that I'll play when you're ready. It's 2 minutes and 15 seconds long. This is just a reminder. You ready?
Yeah, go for it, Dave. All
right. You guys are listening to the English Defense League radio show. This is a story from Breitbart from yesterday.
UK, illegal migrant jailed for strangling, sexually assaulting teenager. By Jack Montgomery on October 19, 2019. An Algerian illegal migrant who entered Britain by France after hiding in the back of a lorry has been jailed for strangling and sexually assaulting a teenager. Khalid Maraja was sentenced at Oxford Crown Court after being convicted of 1 count of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, 2 counts of sexual assault, and 1 count of attempted rape, the Oxford Mail reports. Maraja came upstairs and then he was trying to do stuff to me and I was saying, "What the hell are you doing?" and I was trying to look for my phone, recounted the migrant's victim, who now suffers difficulty sleeping after being forever changed by that attack, during his trial. He was grabbing hold of my breasts and I said, "What the hell are you doing? Get off me," and then he pushed me up against the wall, she added. Then he was strangling me so much I could not breathe. He was just strangling me and I didn't know what to do, she said, telling jurors she thought she was going to die. Describing the attack as a determined attempt to rape the unnamed teenager, who was sexually touched by Maraja while he strangled her and tried to pull down her trousers. Sentencing Judge Maria Lamb noted that this incident only ended because she got away from you and not because you desisted. She fled and fell down the stairs during the course of it, and was helped by a bus driver, the judge recalled, adding that she commended the public spiritedness and responsible action taken by the lady bus driver who helped a young woman clearly in distress. The migrant was only given a prison sentence of 7.5 years. However, and it is typically the case that criminals in England given so-called determinate sentences are automatically released on license at the halfway point in their terms. Criminals handed extended determinate sentences can be held in custody for longer, generally 2/3 of their sentence, but local court reports give no indication that Maraja received such a sentence. Follow Jack Montgomery on Twitter, @Jack Montgomery. Follow Breitbart London on Facebook, Breitbart London.
And there you go. Welcome back to the English Defense League radio show, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say something that stands out is it seems the sentencing that they serve a certain amount of sentence. It seems under the Queen's speech that the law is going to be changed because of that allows these people to walk free quite early. It seems like they're going to have to serve 3/4 of their sentence and they will be tagged. Hopefully, he'll be evicted out of the country or whatever it's called. I call it what it is. But it seems in that Queen's speech there was a lot that I listened to, and that was something as I was hearing it being said, I thought, well, hopefully he's going to serve 3/4. It's not going to be like it was the law. It was in the Queen's speech. It wasn't it, Dave? You remember what she said about that as well? So, if that's the case, it seems a lot of these people who do these absolutely diabolical, heinous crimes to innocent young women, hopefully they're going to pay more of a heavy toll. It's still light. I mean, he should have got 15. Yeah, I'd have said public, castration at the least, and that's just me being rather generous. But I bet they're glad I'm not in charge of things. Aren't they, Dave, and many of us? Oh, my goodness me.
Yeah, you're right,
sharpening up them blades, wouldn't we, boy?
Yeah. Now, part of this is a typical story, unfortunately. We've covered many a story like this, either through the Islamic rape gangs or through an Islam-inspired crime, which that's what this was. Algeria is a predominantly Islamic country, and while I don't know for an absolute fact that this guy was Muslim, I would be willing to lay serious money that he was. And this is the kind of crime, as we heard in a previous show, and as we played in many a previous show and covered in many a previous show, that is allowed under Islam. Islam considers everyone who is not Islamic to be fodder for themselves, either to be enslaved or
what
killed.
My right hand possess, I think it's called. What my right hand possess. That's how they term it, Dave, isn't it?
Right, Quran 9:29. Yeah, and what strikes me, and people should remember this too, especially people in the United States, this was an aggravated sexual assault. No, he didn't rape her, but that was only because a wonderful and brave lady bus driver, and I definitely take the hat I don't wear off to her for her heroic action, stopped it. Now,
well, I'm so proud of her. She should be given an award for at least standing. There's so many people that just walk on. Just walk. I don't want to get involved. Walk on, but when a lady bus driver see that a young lady was in distress, helped her. I mean, I salute the lady, whoever she might be. God bless her, eh, Dave? God bless that lady.
Yes, and here's the point, though. This teenager's life has been ruined. I mean, life has been ruined. You notice in the story that they said the word forever. That's on her forever. This will bother her up to her dying day. She can live to be 90 years old, and her mind will occasionally go back to that incident. She'll have nightmares, and it will affect her for her long life. This sleazeball, if things go well, and who knows, they may not, this sleazeball will be out of an Islamically controlled prison in 5 years. And if he is not deported at that point, he'll just hop right back on the street and find another teenage girl to assault. All right, we know that this sort of, and all that time that he's in prison, he'll be told, no, my friend, you didn't do the wrong thing. You did exactly what you should do under the aegis of the, well, quote-unquote, religion of Islam. Of course, Jeff and I call it death cult, and that's really what it is. So if you want to know a reason why people in the UK want to protect their borders, it's from people like this, and this is not uncommon. Okay, this is just something that I came across on Breitbart, and I said, yeah, we've seen this 100 times before and covered it 100 times before.
Maybe even more than that, Dave. Maybe even more than that. It's just they just keep hitting our desk, don't they? These stories come in every other day.
Yeah, they do.
I just feel sorry for the victims, as you say. If only the judge would have reflected what that young lady said, that she'll never forget this, and she's frightened to go out, and that she won't forget this forever. I think the judge should have summed that up and took into account what that young lady said, and the crime should have reflected exactly. This young woman's got to live the rest of her life having nightmares about what happened to her. That's what they've got to say. I mean, if I was to bring laws, I'd say it's got to be reflected how much damage has been done to the person. We've got to have that. It shouldn't just be for the perpetrators of these horrific crimes, as the law should be lenient. There should be no leniency for any of this type of people. I don't care whether they're Islamic, if they're white, whether they're green, whether they're purple, or I don't care what race they come from. You do this is the most despicable crime against another person, apart from what we hear with children. And but it is probably the worst crimes that myself and Dave will ever talk about on this, and it makes us sick to the stomach because we know it goes on. And if you ain't got a deterrent, it'll continue to go on. That's what I'm saying. We need to have the law that shows these people that you're not walking away from this. You're not walking away from this, and he should have at least had 15 years without parole, and then basically after 15 years, then they'll see if he's eligible. If he feels sorry for what he did, that's how paroles normally work. But that is me in the world that I would like to live. We'll put things in a proper perspective where victims are concerned, and there's so many victims out there, Dave, isn't there? And we've had a victim on the show before. Let's not forget Michelle, Zach. So
no.
we don't forget. I will never forget, and nor will you, Dave. And it was very, very moving to do that show with that young, brave lady that come on. And because at that time, no one wanted to know, did they, Dave, And so we always want to know what's going on out there.
Right. Well, Jeff, everything you're talking about is right here. And this is the reason for the existence of the EDL. People don't listen to the lefty schmefty media that says it's all about racism and all this stuff. And that is it for this time. Next time, part 2. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye. The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2019. Anno Domini. Now for Dave's Canes. Extras that help you navigate the new media world.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.